So the other day on A New Breed of Golf on the radio on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio, we were talking a little bit about short game stuff, and I got this question about what does a chip shot look like? Like I can hit it really good, and I kind of understand what I'm doing when I'm putting, but I really don't understand a chip shot. I don't really know the club to use. Okay, so let's put this to rest. First of all, the club that you use doesn't really matter when you're hitting a chip shot. There are a couple of things that you want to pay attention to, but comfort is really the most important part. I chip with everything from 8-iron all the way down to my 58-degree sand wedge. I chip with that. And you can do the exact same thing. I suggest getting out there and experimenting. And by the way, what I also suggest doing is liking and subscribing to the channel. Share with your friends what we're doing over here and how we're trying to help people play better golf. But what I suggest doing is experimenting with different clubs. Find out what you like to use, what you don't like to use. And as you start getting comfortable, you're going to start getting more success, having more success with these shots. But I want to walk through with you a couple of little nuances to successful chipping. The first one is, I want you to feel like you're standing very close to the ball. I don't want to see you chip from back here and your hands all the way at the end of the club and going like this, okay? Now, the reason why is because the farther away you get from this ball, the more this club will get to the inside. The more it gets to the inside, the greater chance you're going to have of hitting the ground before you get to the ball. And if there's ever one spot that's really important for you to hit the ground second and the ball first, it's in chipping, okay? I really like to see ball first contact. So I want you to feel like you're standing on top of this ball. Get close to it. And then from there, what I want you to do also too is I want you to grip down on that club. Now, you can go down right to the metal if you wish. I don't know that you need to necessarily think about where exactly you are. At some point, what you're going to do is you're going to get to a point where you're precise, right? So I go down to the N in Lampkin, or I go to the L in Lampkin. Doesn't matter. You go to the same spot eventually. Right now, I just want you to be close and I want you to grip down. So let yourself get used to gripping down on that thing and letting that club swing a little bit. Now, what a lot of people, how about that? What a lot of people like to do is tell you, you got to stay still when you hit a chip shot. I don't know that I would say that you got to stay still. I don't know that I like my players to stay still. What I want them to do is stay forward, right? So if you're in here like this and your body goes a little bit forward when you're hitting this shot, I'm okay with that. What I don't want you to do is I don't want your body to work back and away from the target. I don't want that to happen at all. Got to get rid of that thing. So I don't want that to happen at all. What I want you to do is feel like when you're hitting this shot that you're kind of over your lead foot. And when you get over your lead foot, what you're going to find is you're going to be able to drive that ball down. We're hitting a chip shot. Chip shots don't have a lot of trajectory. They don't have a lot of launch. They have a lot of roll to them. That 9-iron there landed at about 7 or 8 yards on and then rolled out to about 20. 7.7 yards on and rolled out to about 20 yards, which is what this flag is at about 20 yards. So I want you to feel like you're gripping down and you're kind of hanging out over your lead foot. Again, if your head moves a little bit forward, that's fine. I just don't want it to move back. Once we start moving back, we start taking the low point of that stroke behind the ball. We start adding some loft into that club, which is also going to add some spin. And if I hit it solidly, I'm going to actually hit it shorter. If I thin it, it's going to go way, way, way by, which is exactly what happened on that shot there. Okay? Now, next thing I want you to understand about this little shot is I want you to feel that the handle is ahead of the club at both the club head at address and at impact. So that might mean that you sit over on your lead side. So what I like to think about and what I like to teach, and this isn't a mandate, but this is just a preference. I like you to feel that your nose is out over your lead foot. A lot of people say, well, you got to put 70% or 80% or 90% or 22%. It's too complicated. And I used to teach that a lot. I don't like that. What I like is you get set up, you put your nose over your, just if I drop down from my nose, it's going right over my shoe, in the center of my shoe. And then what I like to do from there, stay there, and then hit my shot. And all of a sudden, I'm going to trap that thing out the way I want to trap it out, okay? So, close, grip down, set that nose over that, all right? Now, the final thing that I want you to think about is I want you to think about how your trail hand works, because this is vital to the stroke. And we got to think about something, okay? I want you to think about this. Down the line here, Gibbsy, I want you to feel like your trail hand is going to move straight back, and then it's going to punch down this way with the pads of your hands. So the pads of your hand ahead of the knuckles of your hand. Pads of your hand ahead of the knuckles on your hand. Okay? So we're in here like this. And the pads stay ahead of the knuckles. And that's when all of a sudden you trap that thing out the way you want to trap it out. All right? You're not adding any loft. Once you think about the pad staying ahead of the knuckles and you're only hitting it with that trail hand, all of a sudden now you're not adding any loft. So you're going to get that ball strike low on the club. And the reason why I like thinking about the trail hand is I love hitting one-handed chip shots. And when you hit that one-handed chip shot, you're thinking about that hand moving straight back and then feeling the pads stay ahead of the knuckles. Okay? In here like this. Come on, carry. 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 That drill, you can never do that enough. Never do that enough. So, in here like this. Now this hand is on here. Now same thing. Even though it's on there, it's not really on there. And I'm just feeling that the hands just kind of, the pads just kind of push down. There is a definite push that I'm creating in the ground. If it doesn't have a lot of follow through, I am fine with that. I'm hitting a chip shot. The follow through isn't going to be a lot. And when you finish that chip shot, I want you to look like this, where the handle is above the club head. I don't want the club head to be over here when you're hitting a chip shot. Okay? I just hit a couple more for you. So when you get in here and you hit this, there's the handle above the club head. So in here like this, trail hand, I'm hitting it with that. Boom. Very, very solid strike. And when you get that, when you finish up with that, this one here, set up, nose over that. Boom. That finish right where you want it, that ball will finish right where you want it. Pay attention to those principles. Get close to the ball. Lean into that left side. And notice, by the way, I didn't talk about ball position. And the reason why is there's a lot of different ways that you can play the shot. I have a preference of ball position sort of being off my trail ear, but there are times where I might put that ball position up a little bit if I want to hit a chip shot, but I want to get it a little bit higher. Maybe I don't want to change clubs. Maybe the ball is sitting in a certain way, and I don't want to go to a more lofted club. I might use a pitching wedge and hit that ball off the front foot. Maybe play it in the middle, so I'm sort of kind of off of the eye, the right eye. I go back. I prefer ear, so ear. Boom, just like that. So ball position is optional, again, depending upon the shot that you're trying to hit. But I want to see the weight forward. I want to see that nose over the shoe. I want to see the handle of the golf club leaning forward like that. And I want to make sure that when you're done, you feel that hand, that trail hand, push on that with the pads of the hand, heel pad, thumb pad. I want to see those ahead of the knuckles. At that strike, that there's some bend in that trail wrist. Boom, just like that. Club is traveling down. You're going to strike the ball first. The ball is going to roll out. Don't try to hit this thing up into the air. Experiment with different clubs. Have a little fun. Now you don't have any excuse. Now you know what a chip shot looks like, should feel like, and now you just got to get out there and practice it. To improve all parts of your game, subscribe to my channel and click the link below.